10 years ago, I met an Italian artist who was working on paintings and sculptures. So that was kind of my beginning into this kind of art world. Was meeting that artist who back then was already in his 80s, and he had a very moving life. So he had to flee his country of birth, and then he went to Europe to start anew, and he never kind of lost sight of his passion for art, and that was really captivating. And it kind of made me think, through working and collaborating also with him on creative projects, I want to be in that art world. I want to be part of that. I want to research art, or I want to understand art better, and especially art in relation to socio-ecological topics. So that's how my journey started. And then I did a master in arts, culture and society, and also one in sustainability, because back then, this is already a few years ago, that combination didn't really exist yet. So it was not so common yet to combine or to even look at sustainability or to combine art with sustainability. So I did two separate master programs. And then I combined those two topics, art and climate change, in one PhD topic for my thesis, for my doctoral thesis. So with my supervisory team, we proposed to research climate-related art in this major PhD research, and we actually got the funding for that 5 years ago. So I was very, very lucky and fortunate to be able to study this through a PhD. And next to that, I've also done some creative projects, especially photography, drawing, video essays, and for 2 years now, also I've been working on research comics. So that's a project basically to turn academic publications into comic format to make them more accessible or accessible to different audiences. That's a science communication project that I really, really like. So that's also been part of my last couple of years of what I've been working on.
That's amazing. And I guess, when we see news about like climate action or sustainability, oftentimes it's a lot of, flashy corporate sustainability or more, I guess, science-driven data and like clean technology and all of these things that we see in media. So coming from someone with more of like a art and communications background, what would you say climate action means to you?
Yeah, really good question. And indeed, you mentioned it now. So, like, these terms are so heavily used, and also they can also be misused if they're not defined correctly or not even defined in the context. And it can be a very ambiguous concept. Climate change, climate action, also sustainability. They're really omnipresent in the last years, and it's hard to escape them in a way. On the one hand, that's good because there's so much more attention on these topics now than, let's say, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But of course, it also brings a bit of a challenge in terms of how do we define these terms actually? What do they mean? And for example, sustainability is a very big term, really, really huge. And I think what I do in my dissertation, I also look at that, also climate change and climate action, and I try to come to a definition to kind of set the context or the base, also the foundation for what I'm discussing further, because otherwise you have maybe different understandings of the concept. So for climate change, maybe to start with that, you can look at the scientific understanding of that it's caused by natural and human contributions over longer time horizons. And climate action, I would say, for me, I see climate action as something that can be an individual action process and collective. So it has definitely multiple dimensions where the climate action can come from. Political sphere as well, the corporate world, of course, really important, especially large organizations, large companies. In the end, with the goal, of course, to reduce the warming of the planet in general, to aim for that goal.